We're making key lime and coconut bars today. Let's get started.
Good things are coming. Good things.
All right. And as always, I want to remind everybody that cooking should be fun and relaxing. Please grab your relaxin' juice. You like some relaxin' juice? All right. That's good. All right, and today is my first viewer-requested recipe. All right, from the Beartaria Times website, Mrs. Whitbear. Thank you very much for suggesting key lime and coconut. I would have never thought about the coconut part, so that's pretty darn nice. For our key lime and coconut bars, there are two main components. We have the crust and we have the custard. We're going to start the crust first because that needs to bake, and while that's baking, we can make our custard, okay? Can I take that away? Oh, she's getting so relaxed. Anyway, to start off with, you need a large mixing bowl, and we're going to we need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. That's 1. All right, we'll call that 2. And we need 1 cup, which is 2 sticks of butter. All right, now butter like this won't work. I'm gonna dice this up. Since I only have the one hand, it's gonna take me forever, and I don't want everybody to have to wait, so I'm gonna speed through this, but I'm gonna cube this up as small as I can and toss it in, okay? Okay, we will need the flour again, so don't put it away, just get it out of your way. And we have all of our butter and flour in our mixing bowl, all right? I'm gonna clean this up real quick, and then I'm gonna get to mixing. You can use a spoon or a fork to mix this, but I like to use my hands. It's God's mixing tools. So I'm gonna dip my hands in flour and get to mixing, okay? Okie dokie, so my pie dough is looking a little bit crumbly. There you go, kind of like a bit of wet sand. There we are. But I want it to be a little bit more malleable, a little bit more movable, a little bit less crumbly. So I'm going to pour in I'm gonna pour in about, I'd say about a tablespoon's worth of chilled water until I get it to the way I want it, okay? I'm gonna slowly add and mix, and when it's to the point that I like it, I'll be done, okay? There we go. It looks like 1 good tablespoon did it. This is the consistency I want. Yep, it's the consistency I want. So it's ready to roll out, but it's warming up a little bit too much. I want it to stay nice and cool, so I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it in the fridge for about 15 minutes or so, just to let it cool off. All right, and due to the powers of editing, it'll be done and ready to go. Alrighty, bowl's out of the fridge, and as you can see, I've swapped out the new cutting board for the old cutting board. I need this to roll out my dough. There we go. And let's try a new technique. There we go. My mom told me a new trick that she learned, where instead of tossing down flour, you use 2 sheets of plastic. And I figured it's worth a try, so here we go. Let's check our dough. Ooh, that's pretty good. But it's a little sticky. If dough is sticky, we're gonna go with the tried and true. I'll do a combo, okay? We'll do a little bit of flour on top of the plastic sheet just to keep the dough from sticking to the sheet. That just makes sense. Yeah. There we go. There we are. I need a little more flour on top of the dough. Well, that was wishful thinking. All right, so we just need one more sheet of plastic. There we are. And now we're just gonna roll this out. All right, so we need our handy dandy high-tech roller, and let's just go for it. Right now, I'm not worried about a length or width. I'm just going to flatten this out. I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to roll it again. Okay, I'm trying to build layers of butter and flour. All right, that'll give you a flakier crust, and ultimately it'll just be more satisfying to eat. All right, and once you've got the desired amount of layers, it's time to roll it out like I just did, and I'm going to size this thing up for my baking tray. All right, this is an 8x8 baking tray. This dough recipe is based off of my Aunt Ruthie's lemon bar recipe. Please go take a look at that if you want a lemon bar crust. Hers is also much sweeter than mine. She adds about like a half a cup of powdered sugar, and I'm just doing butter and flour, okay? This amount of dough is for a larger tray. Hers is 9x11, and mine's 8x8, okay? But there's nothing wrong with having a little extra dough, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab, any kind of knife is okay. And I'm just gonna make an imprint. Just a rough outline in my plastic. Just like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can leave a little extra. Matter of fact, I recommend it. Okay. There we go. And let's see how we did. I think we're doing all right. This side's a bit thick, so yes. We're gonna cut away our dough, sweetheart. Yeah. This is one of the most fun parts of baking, in my opinion. There you go. If you have kids at home that like to play with Play-Doh, this is awesome because it's Play-Doh, but you can kind of eat it when you're done. So, all right. But this plastic is working out really well. Yeah. This is a neat idea. Okie dokie. There we are. And like I was saying before, this side's a bit thick, so we'll spread that out when we get in our container. So next, we're going to heavily butter this container. For those of you who don't know that, it's exactly what it sounds like. Just grab a stick of butter, and vigorously rub it all over this container. All right, quick question. Can you use an oven spray? Yes, you may. In my opinion, butter gets hotter when it's baking, so it'll make your crust that much crispier. But if you have an oven spray, it's easier, you like it, go right ahead, all right? All right, now I think this is probably the cool part about this technique. I have no mess underneath. I can just pick the whole thing up. Let's see here. Oh, can it stick to the plastic well enough to transport it? Oh, yes it can. Peel. Yes. Woohoo! Did just fine. Okay. All right. Of course, we got some, it's not quite 100%, but it is pretty darn close. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my extra dough here. I'm just going to go around the edges, basically turning this into a pie. There's not much difference between like lemon bars or, in my case, lime coconut bars and a pie. It's just the amount of crust you have. There we go. There you got it. Pretty darn nice crust, if I do say so myself. And one option you can do, and I've totally done it, is you can salt this and it'll bring out a little bit more of the sweetness of the lime. We're just gonna keep it simple and do butter, flour, water. So that way you have an all-purpose pie crust, basically, all right? And next, this is the last step before we bake it. We're gonna grab a fork and we're gonna poke the bottom of this pie crust. Okay, that will prevent any air bubbles, hopefully, all right? Now, we're gonna toss this into a 350 degree oven for about 15 minutes or until this crust is golden brown, all right? This thing's been preheating while I was doing my dough. You could probably feel my heat energy from there, but don't worry, I didn't waste any of it, all right? See you guys in about 15 minutes. Okay, our crust is out of the oven. All right, oh, you okay, kiddo? Uh-oh. All right, 1 second. Okay, crisis averted. Like I was saying, I pulled my crust out of the oven, and about halfway through, I'm glad I was checking on it. Turns out, our pie crust likes to rise. I know a lot of people know that already. You're probably falling out of your chairs laughing at me right now, but that's okay. My fix was I took some aluminum foil, pressed it down as evenly as I could while this thing was piping hot, of course, and I popped a nice ramekin in the middle as my pie weight. There we go. It did a pretty good job. And there you go. My pie crust is most of the way done. Like 75% baked is pretty much what you're looking for, all right? It'll finish baking outside of the oven while we're waiting to mix up the custard. And then, of course, when we put it into the oven, it'll bake some more. So no biggie. But we're gonna set our pie crust off to the side to cool while we do our custard, okay? We are done with our ramekin. Be very careful, this thing is super duper hot. All right, it's time to start mixing our custard. Yep. There we go. And before I started making any of this, I put all of these bowls and my whisk in the freezer together, okay? You need the bowl to be as cold as possible. We're gonna try to whip these eggs. We need 4 eggs. There we go. There's 2. I got shell in there, darn it. There we go, there we go. I know there's some eggshell removing expert in the chat that'll tell me, ooh, this is the easiest way to get rid of your eggshell is blank. There we go. There we go. Well, if you have a good eggshell technique, please let me know, all right? There we go. 3. And 4. There we go. Not having good luck with eggshell today. There we go. And while this is as cold as it is going to be, we're going to whisk it. There we go. You could just do egg yolks, and that would be really good. But I'm just going to use the whole egg to keep it simple. And we're going to whisk it until we get some good frothy air bubbles in there. All right, it's looking pretty good. Got some good bubbles going on there. There we go. I could go a little bit further and take it a little bit more extreme into like the ribbon stage. That's what they call it. But this will serve my purpose perfectly fine. We have hundreds of little tiny bubbles in there. It's going to make this a little bit fluffier as it's baking. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my cup as a rest, cover this with plastic, and we'll go from there. There we go. There we go. We're going to set that back there to the side while we do the next thing, probably the most important thing. We are going to juice our limes. Now, I'm basically going off of my Aunt Ruthie's lemon bar recipe to make these lime coconut bars. And for that, we needed about a half a cup's worth, like 2 good-sized lemons worth of lemon juice. These are key limes. They're super tiny, okay? I guess the difference is these are grown in the Florida Keys, down the Caribbean, whatever. Honestly, it just feels like they're trying to figure out a way to sell tiny limes, all right? Point is, though, I don't know how much juice I'm going to get out of one of these limes. It might take all of these to get to a half a cup of lime juice, okay? So, here we go. And I'm going to speed through this so you guys don't have to watch the whole darn thing. All right, I want to show everybody how crazy this is. I just juiced 7 of these key limes. For almost half a cup of lime juice, all right? So I've got 1 more lime. It's gonna have to be about 8, all right, to get to my lime juice, all right? Just want to make everybody aware how many limes it takes to get the equivalent you need for key lime, whatever. All right, so I've got a little bit under half a cup. It's probably about 1/3 of a cup of lime juice from these key limes. I'm not gonna toss these out just yet. I have another trick up my sleeve to get a little bit more lime flavoring out of these, all right? I'll show you guys in a minute. But for now, we're gonna add our lime juice to our egg mixture. Right. She is so upset about the lime thing. And we're gonna mix it up. All right, that is it for our wet ingredients, all right? Next, we're gonna do our dry ingredients. I'm gonna find a bowl for these. All right, time for our dry ingredients. For our dry ingredients, we're gonna start off. What's up, kiddo? With about a cup's worth of sugar, and I'm going to try a cup's worth of powdered sugar. There we go. My lemon bar recipe had 2 cups of regular white sugar. I think 1 cup of powdered sugar will do the job just fine here. We're gonna find out. We need about 3 teaspoons worth of all-purpose flour. 2. 3. Okay. And we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder, okay? These can all go in there. And now we're gonna stir this whole thing together. Time to combine our dry ingredients to our wet ingredient. All right, so what I do recommend, whisk it up, put in a little bit at a time, and stir it little by little. Alrighty, there we go. And the process of stirring seems to have added more bubbles into our mixture from before. So you don't necessarily need to separate the yolks. I see that in a lot of videos, but I don't like to waste the egg whites, so there we are. All right, let me take a quick taste. Well, it's pretty good. Kind of limey. There we go. But I want this to be a undoubtable key lime bar thing. I'm going to take the zest off of these limes. Now you don't need all the limes that we juiced. I just did 2 of them. I'm going to stir in the zest as best I can. I might throw in 1 more. Now it's time to put the whole thing together. Now it's time to combine all of our stuff. We have our crust, we have our custard, and we're just going to pour the custard into the crust. Be as even as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. There we go. There. There we go. All right. Yep. Okay, fine. Here you go. All right. Now on top of this, I'm going to scatter my coconut. This is sweetened coconut. You can definitely get unsweetened coconut shavings too. There we go. This is just what I found in the store, so it's what I got. And there we have it. Our key lime and coconut bars are ready to go into the oven at 350 degrees for about, I'd say 15 to 20 minutes, or until the custard is baked all the way through, okay? If it's a little bit brown, you're okay, all right? Whew. And here we have it, a key lime and coconut bar straight out of the oven, okay? Now, this is super duper hot. We're going to let it cool down. I'm actually going to let it cool down to about room temperature and then chill it in the fridge for a couple of hours. I think that's going to be awesome. So I will see you guys there for the plating. Just keep in mind, this is ready to go whenever it's cool. If you like warm pie, go for it, all right? I just want it to be cold because it's hot outside and it's going to be refreshing, all right? See you then. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, our coconut lime bars. Looking pretty good, aren't they? Let's have a taste.
This is tasty.
Oh my, this is good. Yep. And of course, manager needs her cut. Here we go. All right. This is a very refreshing combination. The lime and the coconut play off each other perfectly. You got that lime in the coconut and you put them both together. Anyhoozle. This is such a good little dessert. It's not too heavy. It's not too heavy on the sugar, so you don't get tired of it. That lime keeps it nice and refreshing, so you can just keep eating. You definitely need a drink nearby, though. My manager sussed that out. Yummy, yummy. Anywho, keep going? Okay. Please try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very, very nice little dessert you can have. There we go. It freezes easy. There we go. It lasts overnight, no problem, in the fridge. This is a great food for a picnic or a barbecue. It's getting hot out, so this will be nice and refreshing. There you go. Please try this at home, everybody, and let me know how it works for you, all right? If you want a similar recipe, I did my great Aunt Ruthie's lemon bars a couple weeks ago. I'll put the link to that right here so you can find it. The crust is a bit on the sweeter side, so if you don't like that sweet crust, just do this crust with that custard, and it should work out perfectly well, all right? Please give me a like and a subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so I can monetize the channel. Please follow me on Instagram and X. Send me messages, send me stuff, post your stuff. Hashtag Dad's Cookin, and I'll try to find it. All right, this was the first viewer submitted recipe I've done, and it's been really fun. So thank you to Mrs. Whitbear from the Beartaria Times app for suggesting the really fun combination, all right? Please, people, send me more. This is super fun. And this is my very first time making this particular dish, so it's fun to challenge myself, all right? I hope everybody had fun watching me feel my way through the recipe as I was going. If you want to buy some merch, please go to my merch store and buy yourself a hat or t-shirt or something. I think that's going to be it, everybody. I think we're going to go enjoy the rest of this delicious dessert. I can't wait to see what Mom thinks. Oh, also, the coconut lime combination has tremendous umami. I haven't done one of those for a while. Anyway, have a good one. Using God's mixing tools right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my hands in I'm going to dip my hands in flour and I'm going to all right. Now you can absolutely use a spoon or a fork to mix your Okay. You can absolutely use a spoon or a fork to mix. You can absolutely use a spoon or a fork to mix. I'm just gonna stir it until it's all combined. I'll be right back. Oh, you're chewing on something. What are you chewing on? It's like paper. Oh, it's a hairband.